Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Motorsport Manager, the Underdog Challenge. And today we go to the Milan GP, where as you can see it will be most likely raining all throughout the weekend, but we'll have to see what actually happens, of course. Always beautiful to go to Italy, and yeah, as you can see the parts fit us pretty decently. Brake set and the rear wing will be crucial, but those are spec parts, I believe, unless it's the front wing. Yeah, okay, so the rear wing will not be a spec part, but we're sort of middling in there. The brake set, of course, is a spec part. And then we have the engine, where we are actually a top 4 now. So we did go down a little bit, as you can see. I still feel like if we... Or not if, but when we weight strip the engine, we should probably still be in the top 3. But I would like to maybe make another engine to try and get back in the top 3 standard anyway. But... yeah, I think either way will probably be fine. This race, yeah, we don't know what's going to happen, of course, but hopefully with the rain we can do pretty well. For now, we are still 77 points clear of the Rossini, and Tulipano is 50 points clear of Surikov of the Panther Racing team. As you can see, our basically biggest rivals are all sort of very close to each other. Surikov 90, Schmidt at 88, and Sharp at 83. And then actually we have Vovsky, who is also... pretty close actually to the front runners, and then you have a lot of people that just aren't really competing right now. But yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's get right into it. Sharp tops the time in Cape Town. Yeah, Cape Town was a good race for us in the end. We got the first place and the third place. Second went to Sharp, so not a bad result for us at all. Actually, we extended our lead once again, and apparently you had to... Avio had to apologize to a representative from Cape Town after he soaked her in a shower of champagne spray at the podium. We've had this one before. If we say Avio was just playing around, he didn't mean any harm. That will probably be bad for our chairman morale, but good for Avio. Same for this one, I think. And a clear lack of respect. That will make Avio a bit upset, but probably the chairman good. I think this one is also good for your marketability, but we don't need that. I think we'll just say this. Doesn't really do anything. So that's fine. Pit crew review. Total of 5 pit stops. We were very quick. And that was a record broken. So very nice. All right. Let's keep going. We're still making a gearbox, I believe. So that will be another 7 days. Probably won't really be done before the race, or well, not usable before the race. Is there anything else we need to look at in the meantime? We are still working on a suspension to get that up to snuff, so that's this one, and we're working on improving that gearbox, so that is also fine probably. Yeah, and like I said, well, do we need to work on a gearbox? Because we're gonna make a better one, right? We're making one right now, so since we're using this gearbox immediately, we got the legendary... No, wait, that was on the rear wing we got the legendary trait. So, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to use that one or not. I think I talked about it. I guess for now we'll just keep on using this one. We'll see what happens when the gearbox comes out. I don't remember exactly what the stats on it are going to be. So let's have a look once it's done. Report on the upcoming race. 26 laps, 40% chance of rain, so not super likely, but definitely possible. Softs and mediums, and that is all fine. Our fuel efficiency isn't the worst, but also not the best, so we're pretty middling. That's fine too. And let's have a look. Are we going to take one of the sponsor objectives? I think yes. And probably just this one, to be honest. El Banco gives us 3 million up front, whereas this one only gives 750. Yes, we would get a little bit more bonus, but yeah, 3 million is too good to pass up on. And El Banco is a very, very nice sponsor to have. I think it's one of the better ones, especially if you can't always meet your objective, let's say. All right, that should be our gearbox done. And it is at 474. How does that compare right now? Yeah, so our current one is actually better. We could improve this one to a higher level, but I think we're just going to go straight for another gearbox anyway. Yeah, like I said, I would like another engine, but I feel like anyway it's not going to be done in time. And probably as long as we weight strip, we'll be fine either way. So we'd probably do something like that, and then this, and then just hope for a really good part, I think. Because none of these are that great. I mean, this one is alright, but there's definitely some better ones you could have if you get a good random legendary component. I mean, we could just do this. That takes us to 184 maximum. What is our current maximum on the engine? That would be... That's a pretty good upgrade. It's that 55 basically additionally. We can also still improve the performance anyway on these two engines, so maybe we don't need to worry about it too much, to be honest. Especially this one, I wouldn't mind improving a little bit. We also have this one, but I think I would rather just make another engine at that point. For now, let's focus on getting one more gearbox out, I think. So we would do probably the best one we can make. Plus 25, plus 20, plus 40, and then a random legendary. Because these are really bad, so you definitely want a random legendary here. And then just hope that we get like the plus 90 or a plus 100 or whatever. Just anything that improves our performance. Let's see. Alright. What were we doing with this? Yeah, this one should be at 100 before the race, one day after the race. Let's do like... Really? You're just... Okay. Let's do this, and that should get us to like 99 anyway, so then we can at least weight strip that that part all the way like by like 4 or so. We can choose a vote. Do we want to though? We have 5 votes left over. Points for top 5. Don't really care for that. Refueling could make the races more interesting, but also don't care that much about that. I mean, we could always do one, but honestly, I feel like we're in a pretty good spot with the current sets of votes. Obviously, the million isn't really a problem. We can definitely pay that. We could bring the averages down or up. We could change some tracks and don't really care. Sequential pit stops. Don't really care here either. Very high merit payments. Could be interesting, but bonus points for fastest lap. Honestly, none of these really appeal. The only thing I could imagine is driver aids, since we're not really up there in terms of drivers. We're like 7th. So since we have like somewhat bad drivers, we could definitely vote in driver aids. Spec parting, definitely not, obviously. About the safety cars, doesn't matter so much. Randomized grids doesn't really appeal. ERS could be cool, but doesn't add that much, I feel. Weight stripping we definitely want to keep in, so I feel like maybe actually we would go for the driver aids. That sounds not too bad. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the AVO is pretty good though, like, and he's our star, right? And he really is good. I mean, it's just his focus and overtaking that isn't that great, but even driver aids, I don't think we need a vote this season. Maybe we could do a fun one then. Since we don't really need anything, we could at least do something fun. Is there anything I want to show off? Not really. This one is quite fun actually. Pit stops will become a lot faster, but that actually works against a lot of our strategy now with the good tires, where we try and do pit stops as little as possible. So I don't think we're gonna do that at all. I don't really care for any of this, to be honest. We already have long length practice sessions, so yeah, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Last place bonus payment. That is quite funny. 250,000 isn't going to do anything though, so that doesn't really even do anything. Teams promoted are given an additional 10 million in bonus payment. That's quite fun, but again, it doesn't do anything for us. Would have been cool if they voted that in before we promoted, because the 10 million would have been very welcome at the time. But yeah, this honestly doesn't do anything. I think we're going to just reject it. There's no real votes that I think make sense to show off right now. We've already done a season with ERS. So there's already weight stripping too. It all just doesn't matter that much. All right, our reliability is actually done. So it said a few hours, but it worked out fine. We'll just keep working on that gearbox, and that should also be fine. As always, let's bring 8 and 4. With 26 laps, it would be cool if we could do double soft and then do a 1 stinter, but either way, with the rain, it might, of course, change our plans. The lap times are very short, so we'll probably be able to get tier 3 on everything we want, so that should be fine regardless. Parts are looking fine, except that suspension. Obviously, we need to start using that, so let's do this. Yeah, we're very happy with the car. That's all good. Yeah, looking fine. Let's get into it. All right, there we go, to Italy. See what we can do this time around. Rain wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for us. As always, like, we tend to be a bit more flexible, a bit more adaptive to the rain. So if it does rain, we might end up with a better strategy than most other teams. Occasionally the rain really doesn't do much for you because it just rains the whole race or something like that, and then it just basically becomes a regular race, but with a focus on wet tires instead of dries. Yeah, this should be fine. And here also, let's go to 80 on everything. Now you could try and do a little bit more because we get so much more performance out of the engine, but 80 basically keeps you very safe during the race from having to repair anything, and that is usually worth more to me. It is a short race, so we could do a little bit more, but I feel like 80 is just always a good number to be around, to be honest. Plus this plus 120 points, I think we should definitely still be in the top 3 bracket again. But we should have a look at the engine soon and see if we don't want to make a new one, just to be sure. By the way, I never paid attention to this, but a thoughtful commenter talked about the track layout. You can actually see it here too in your load setup. Never really thought of that, but yeah, that is actually it does impact, right, your setup for the race. So you definitely should definitely keep an eye on that. That should help. I don't remember what this track is called. It's not Tondola, I'm pretty sure. Milan, right? Yeah, it's Milan. So I also forgot to look at which track layout we have, but I think it's A, because this looks like the standard one that we always do, and this is the only alternative, which must be B, to be honest. So should be A. And let's pick the most recent one, so one of these should be fine. All right, and we can do 12 to 14 on the softs, 16 to 18 on mediums, so that should actually be perfectly fine. It's quite cold, so we won't be able to conserve too much in terms of tire wear. Let's keep an eye on that, but I think at least Tulipano should definitely be able to. Vovsky might be tricky to do a one-stop with him, but we'll have a look. At worst, we'll do a one-stop still and just use mediums for half the race, but we'll have a look at that time. Let's get some race trim going. And same for you. There you go. Send them out. Bring them back in. Yeah, very simple track. Always just these very high-speed long straights and then high-speed corners. And that's it already again. Great, great, great. Perfect. Let's keep it at that then. And send you out for 12 laps. 96%. Definitely no reason to change you around then for you. Even better. Excellent, excellent, and great. 97%. All right. then this becomes a very easy practice session. Nothing much to be done for the team manager here. So let's just enjoy our drivers getting around the track and see that we get tier 3 as quickly as possible, and then we'll get the same for the mediums. Don't think we'll end up using the mediums unless rain happens and we can make it all the way till the rain with the mediums, and then we swap to the wets or something like that. But of course that's gonna be a gamble up front. We have no clue yet what's gonna happen, so let's just make sure we keep all our options open. Let's bring Tulipano in. Let's bring Para in. There is the tier 3. And let's make sure we also have the qualifying trim and the mediums all practiced out. There's actually going to be a bit of rain, so that probably means we can't get the mediums to its maximum level. Unless we just ignore the rain, of course. Which we might do, honestly. For now, anyway, we just send them out on qualifying trim and with the mediums, of course, but if we do want to get tier 3, we're just gonna have to ignore that little bit of rain. I mean, for most of this rain, honestly, still slicks are perfectly fine. It's only like the 3 highest bars probably where it really isn't good to be on the slicks. And it's not like we're gonna crash during practice, so let's just keep them out for now. They're gonna come in anyway right now. This is their in lap, and then we'll send them out with the same setup. As you can see the discrepancy, by the way. Like, the mediums are gaining less knowledge because we're on the wrong tire, right? So you can actually, we started these at the same time and normally they should keep up the pace, but yeah, qualifying trim is way ahead of the medium trim because of being on the wrong tire, basically. But you still gain some intel, so that's why I'm just keeping them on. Usually you can't really count on it just raining all race, so yeah, having tier 3 on inters normally just, I don't care for it. Most of the time when it rains, it's something like this, what we see now, you know, let's say 10 laps maximum of rain. And apart from that, it's all just dry. So then, yeah, you obviously want to have the tier 3 on the dries, on the slicks. Yeah, pretty good practice session. We got our tier 3s on everything we need. Don't care for the intermediates or the wets. We loaded our car up with quite a lot of fuel, so getting in 9th and 17th doesn't worry me too much, but it doesn't make me excited either about the race, to be honest. Let's see what happens. Hopefully, at least in qualifying, we can do pretty well. Looks like it's dry, at least at the start. No. Okay. As always, we're gonna just wait. It looks like we're gonna get enough time to do a dry lap, like in the middle there at least. Maybe it ends up raining again, but it doesn't look like it. So to me, there's 0 point in starting on intermediates and then doing 1 lap. All it does is just waste tires and time, because we can send them out around the 8th minute mark probably, and still get as many laps out there as we want. Wait for a little while longer. Yes, I know you need to set a lap time. Perfectly fine not doing so. You can see, by the way, the difference. These guys went out on dries, on slicks. That's a 7 seconds, almost 8-second difference between Sharp, who is one of the best with the best car, and Modi, who is in a pretty crappy car with not such a good driver. So yeah, you can tell the difference in that being on the right tire makes, let's say. Probably gonna wait 1.5 more lap. All right, now we're gonna send them out, and we're just gonna go on the softs, of course, being on the softest compound. And yeah, by the time we start our flying lap, we should be perfectly fine. We can probably do 2 flying laps, and that will probably be it. Yeah, it's perfectly dry now that we're starting. We won't have any track grip for this first lap, but neither will anyone else probably. So far, setting some pretty decent laps. There's some other people who are getting semi-close, but these are the slowest runners, let's say. So I think we're definitely going to be overtaken soon by the Schmidts and the Graaf and whoever else. Sharp, probably. Let's make sure we have some fresh tires, and we go out again with... Could have maybe waited a little bit longer for some more track grip, but we're very lucky we might be able to do another lap. I don't think so. No, it doesn't look likely, to be honest. But we might as well try one more. No, this was it. And we didn't improve either, so that sucks. Looks like most people indeed are gonna go past us on the of the top 3 teams, let's say top 4 even. Could have waited maybe a little bit more for some more track grip, but I think by the time we were out, that was probably the maximum we're gonna get. So we're about half a second off the pace. Sharp looks to be absolutely flying out there, 0.2 ahead of Schmidt and Hamilton. But let's see. Hopefully there is some rain. That might be something that we could use to take advantage. Well, that is immediately my wish granted. Apparently, we're starting with rain. That isn't usually what I like to see, though. All right. So definitely inters, obviously. This isn't enough rain for wets, but it's definitely enough rain not to be on slicks. Looks like around lap 7 to 8, you want to be out of those slicks. That is a lot of laps to still go till the end of the race. And it could still start to rain again. It's gonna keep being a little bit cloudy. There's about 6 more laps that we don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe 7. It looks to me like a 2-stopper, to be honest. We could try and go for the mediums. That will be 16 to 18. We could make it work, to be honest. Because if we... Let's say we pit around lap 8. Which is pretty conservative, I'd say. No, maybe not. Because at lap 6 it's still pretty wet. Lap 7 pretty wet. Lap 8 probably it's already too dry. So let's say at the end of lap 8 at the latest we could pit. And we need another like 18 laps, 19? 18 to 19 laps. That's gonna be dangerous with mediums, especially with how cold it is. Like 18 degrees, we won't be able to conserve much. Looks to me like a 2-stopper, to be honest. So we'll probably go twice on softs and just run them really aggressively. So obviously we're starting on inters. We're gonna run these tires also very aggressively. And we'll probably just go for softs and race trim. I think that is the way to go here. Would have loved to try doing a 1-stop, but that just doesn't look feasible at all to me. So we're gonna have to make do with what we have. Yeah, let's just start like this. We can really run super aggressively on these tires. Tulipano gets a great start. Kowski gets a horrible one. And Tulipano does look like he got a little bit bogged down, but is making up for that a little. Fighting for 7th. Oh, actually someone there fell back very quickly. I think that was Sharp, actually. He just seemed to drop like a brick all of a sudden. Maybe a gear shift that didn't go properly or something like that. Kowski, meanwhile, is also dropping like a brick. That is really unfortunate. Even though we're giving him red, he's not keeping up at all with the good pace. Alright, well, let's have a look then. That is the long straight. Our speed doesn't look too bad. We're definitely gonna have to drop back a little bit on the engine. Probably just gonna do orange. Red isn't sustainable for very long. Kowski actually made a nice move there, going from 14th to 9th or something. But yeah, red tire mode I'm definitely not opposed to, because these tires can last for so long. Yeah, we can still definitely make it. Even probably running orange for most of the stint. Just gonna have to look a little bit at the heat, but since it's decently cold, 19 degrees, we should be okay. And let's see then. We have both of the Steinman Motorsport, the Mercedes is pushing Tulipano. That does suck a little. It would be nice if we could get past Surikov here. It looks like the Ferraris, the Rossinis here are very, very dominating right now. They have that 1-2, at least with like a pretty decent sized gap also. And we just can't seem to get past Surikov here, which sucks quite a bit. It is what it is. We're just gonna have to keep pushing. Hopefully we can get past here on the long straight. Did the old switcheroo, going from inside to outside, and that is past him. If we can keep him behind us on that first corner. Looks like we can, so that is very nice. Good start there. All right, gonna keep pushing on red for now. Eventually we're gonna go to orange tire mode as well, but I think, yeah, I really want to push these Ferraris. I want to get as close to them as possible. If we give them a 1-2 here, that is a huge blow to our title chances, because they'd be just getting up on us like so much. But temperature is going up a bit too much for my liking now, so let's push that back a little bit to just orange. I don't care about the tire wear at all. We'll switch off of these tires soon enough. It's really just about the heat. And I think on orange we should probably stay pretty steady. And as you can see, we're still pushing this Ferrari, so that is very nice. Hopefully next lap we can try and get past them. 1 second quicker than we were the last lap. That is very good. Alright, nice. We're actually fighting now against Hamilton, even going past him. Very good. I think we're probably playing a lot more aggressively with our tires than the other teams. Yeah, we seem to be. We're eventually gonna have to bring those tires back, but it's raining a bit again. Hopefully that brings down the temperature a little. Setting a lot of greens at least, so that is very nice. Only a second behind Schmidt. Kovsky, meanwhile, is in a bit of a no man's land. He's ahead of everyone else, but quite far behind Lipponen and Sharp. He's just gonna have to make do with what he has. Obviously, at some point, we're gonna have to bring back our fuel as well. But yeah, for now, that isn't really a big deal. I have to bring back the heat. We're really on the edge now, so that's gonna cost us quite a bit of time probably. That sucks, but while also I'm still giving them more fuel than I would normally, just because I really want to make sure they keep up the pace for now. All right, we're getting in the territory now where eventually going to slicks would be a lot better. Honestly, already at lap, yeah, like I said, at the end of lap 8 is probably when we're just going to switch off. So when we hit this long straight, we're going to have a look at the water level, but this to me looks like slicks. I think this is the right time. We have a 5-second differential. It's a little bit dangerous. If Tulipano has a mistake happen, then this could cost us. If we do a double stack here, but I think with the water level being what it is now, it doesn't look like it's going to rain for the rest of the race. I think we're going to just do double soft. That's also what we have our bonus for. And we'll be able to run those tires very aggressively. Pit stop should be so short. I feel like we can do a double stack. Let's try and pull it off here. Hopefully this is not a Ferrari tactical moment where we destroy our entire race. But we're gonna try. We're gonna come in as the first team, and looks like the double stack worked out perfectly. We are gonna be a little bit conservative now with our fuel. Just go on yellow. That should give us enough fuel back soon enough. But the tires I want to run quite aggressively, as we have a lot of time left over. Looks like some other people did also choose to go, but those are people quite far behind us. I think we chose the right timing, seeing how little water there is left on track. We should be pretty quick here. I'm hoping to even come out ahead of Schmidt, actually, because of that. But that's not guaranteed, of course. I would love to, though. Maybe we do a little bit more fuel on both our drivers, just to try and make up as much as we can. They're coming into the pits now. I think they did a very awkward double stack there. I can't be sure, but I think they double stacked it, and I think that was way too close for comfort, actually. I think that's going to cost Hamilton here massively. I think he was way too close to make that double stack work. And it looks like, yeah, that worked out perfectly for us. We were so much quicker there on the slicks. We actually put out quite a gap between us and second. Even Kovsky gained so many positions from that. Now, obviously, we need to pull back on the fuel here. I've been using way too much of that, but I really wanted to get as much space between us and the other runners as possible. Yeah, I think that was perfect. The double stack worked out for us. We wanted to pit a little bit earlier just to make sure that we had that that we came out earlier than them. Not having to fight cars ahead of you is so important. And probably we're just gonna run on orange till the end of this stint. Stops last for quite a while. You can see 12 to 14. Probably if we run on orange the entire time, we could do something like 10 laps probably. We came in with like 19 to go, or 18 I think. So we should be perfectly fine running on orange and even red if we feel it's necessary. Only problem is we used up a lot of fuel during this race so far, so we're gonna have to, yeah, keep that back a little. Schmidt might try for a one-stopper here. He's gonna go blue mode apparently. That is interesting. If he manages to pull off a one-stopper, that would be quite impressive. We didn't opt for that. We could have tried maybe, because I think in the end we could have gone for one lap extra and then try for mediums, but I didn't want to risk that. Especially with it being quite cold, I felt like we wouldn't be able to conserve for long enough. If he is going to manage to make it work, that would be quite impressive, but even just going in that late, it did cost him a lot of time. Like that one lap for us gave us so much time over our rivals. So, well, let's see. For now, we're just going to keep running on orange and yellow and probably bring our guys in like 3-4 laps. Really want to make use of the freshest tires possible. And since we're anyway going to have to stop one more time, you might as well then at the most optimal time, of course. So let's just use these tires up as much as we can, and then we'll start. On the fresh set. I am using not as much resources as Sharp is, for example, which I think is keeping us a little bit alive here. She's eating into our gap a little bit. It seems she started off with like 6.5. Now she's at 5.5, but it has been quite a few laps since we started. It seems like we're pretty on pace now. But we are using, of course, more tire, and actually I'm gonna have to pull that back because tires are heating up too much. Probably one more lap, and then I feel like we could take them in. There's 11 to go. Yeah, at 10 I don't mind bringing them in, so we're gonna do one more. Yeah, you're also hitting your cliff, or your heat cliff, let's say. So let's bring you in now on the next lap. And yeah, Schmidt might honestly make a one-stopper work. We should be quicker than him on the fresh softs, but let's see. If this works out for him, that would be quite a coup. He basically did then the strategy that I wanted to implement. You can only last actually for 11 to 13. But that should be fine with 11 laps remaining. So 10 once we cross the finish, and I do really want to bring you in now. Just want you to be on fresh softs. And no mistake again for Avio, very nice, and out we go again. And no mistake here, great. Okay, so a mistakeless weekend from the pit crew, very important during a title race, of course. Obviously we're going to come out quite behind everyone else, but yeah, everyone on the softs for sure still has to come in for the pits. We're quite far behind Schmidt, so if he actually manages to make those mediums work for another 10 laps, that would be huge for the Rossini, but we should be a lot quicker than them. Now that we're on fresh tires, and he's only gonna get slower. But let's see. 9 laps remaining, and we have everything to play for now. Not gonna touch our tire level or our fuel level too much. I do want the fuel to be around 0 before we start pushing again. And yeah, Sharp is already coming into the pits now, so we should again have gained quite a bit of time just because we're on fresh tires now, but she's going to make up that time near the end of the race, of course, when she has the fresher tires. But that looks like about a 6-second gap. So it looks like we gained about half a second there. That's not too bad. Same for all these runners. Like we're gaining on them now, but they're going to gain on us near the end of the race when we're on older tires, of course. So that makes perfect sense. Are we eating into our gap against Schmidt? I believe we are, but not maybe as quickly as I would like it. You're definitely getting some part problems. Hopefully you can last. Becker doing a repair, that is quite nice. Alright, so most people are now pitting. Only Schmidt and Surikov are ahead of us. Surikov for sure is going to pit on this next lap. Then it's just up to Schmidt. Can he handle another 6 laps of that? I'm not sure. We're gonna have to see. Looks like Floridi and De Graaf are doing the same strategy as well, by the way. They're also gonna try and go for that one-stopper medium. Feel like it might be tight. You're already at 38%. You can last till, what was it, 5? I don't know, are you pushing on those tires? Yeah, he's already... No, he's on yellow. Okay, well. Let's find out, I suppose. I think we can push a little bit now. Probably just go like orange. We have enough fuel, I think, and we also have enough tire life to just really go for it a little bit here. Try and eat into that gap. Put Schmidt under a little bit of pressure, see if we can crack him. Sharp really is, by the way, destroying that soft set that she just put on. She's on the same level as us. She has been gaining on us because of that. That's about a 4-second gap, 3.5. So she definitely gained a little. But still should be okay, I think. You are... Yeah, that rear wing is definitely going to cost eventually. Hopefully we can just keep it healthy enough to last till the end of the race. 4 laps left or 3? Oh, he is coming into the pits. Okay, so Schmidt's strategy didn't work out for him there. I think that means we're probably going to pull back a little bit on our resources here. I would like that fuel to just get back to even a bit more before we start pushing again. With 4 laps left, I guess we could push the tires a little bit more. Don't mind that too much, actually. Kowski dropping down a spot to Surikov, who is on fresh softs. That makes sense, unfortunately. Hopefully these medium runners are also still going to come in. That would save us some points with Kowski. And we have a 4-second gap to Sharp. She pushed a little bit too hard, as you can see, and now she's conserving her tires. So that should be very good for Tulipano here, who should make it till the end of the race now in first. Looks like the medium runners are pitting. Very nice for us. Not the Graaf apparently, but he's just on such old tires that he can't hold on there. So that actually brings Vovsky now into 4th, but Hamilton is pushing him. Probably is going to go past him there, I would imagine. Schmidt, meanwhile, yeah, his strategy didn't work out at all, because if you're going to commit to that medium set, you really have to make a one-stopper work, and he couldn't, just like we thought we wouldn't be able to, but yeah, we didn't take that gamble, of course. There's that rear wing playing up now, but with 2 laps remaining, there's no way we're bringing in Vovsky now. He's in such prime position to score a good amount of points. We cannot be doing that. De Graaf also coming into the pits now. So even he didn't make the one-stopper work. You're just gonna have to last on that rear wing, my man. There is no way we're bringing you in with 1 lap to go. That is just not gonna happen. Yeah, the fight against Hamilton is gonna be tricky. We're gonna try a little bit, I think, here with orange, but yeah, doesn't look likely that we can make that work. He's on just fresher tires. Yeah, let's not push our luck here. Final lap, we can last till 10%, so going on orange here should be fine for both our riders. 4-second gap to Sharp. And she's still conserving her tires. I think that should be fine for Tulipano here. Don't need to use too much of our fuel. Just make sure that we run out the race. There's a good gap between Vovsky and Schmidt. I'm hoping he can hold on here. It's looking a little bit tricky. Let's go red. We have that little bit spare of like fire mode, but alright, that is Tulipano in first, so let's focus just on Vovsky. Let's use a little bit of our fuel here. Come on, you have enough? There you go. Just about made it. Alright, very nice there. Managed to hold on. That cost Schmidt a few more points. Obviously, we got the race win. Hamilton and Schmidt were pretty good there. I mean, they got quite a few points as a team, but not individually. So that's really good for the driver standings. And in terms of the team standings, I think, yeah, since we took the win and we got a pretty decent position there with Boris, that should have obviously also been pretty good for the standings from our team side. And yeah, Avio actually managed to extend his driver lead a little as well again. About 10 points to Surikov and 7 to whoever got third there, I think. All right. Very nice. Probably to Sharp. So Surikov and Sharp actually seem to be our biggest rivals now in the driver championship, whereas the Rossini probably still are in the team standings. But yeah, this race wasn't too bad. In the end, worked out pretty well for us. Couldn't do any special strategy, really. I think the main thing that helped us was pitting 1 lap earlier than most other drivers. Most teams lasted a little bit too long on the intermediates there when there wasn't really any reason to. And then we could go on the fresh soft, gain a pretty big advantage that way. And no one could make the one-stopper work. just like we thought wouldn't be possible. Yeah, it wasn't. So yeah, that is pretty good. Now the lead is 60 points for Tulipano to Surikov, 64 to Sharp, and 69 to Schmidt. Boris, meanwhile, is just, yeah, making sure he gets points for the team. Obviously, he's not really in a championship fight in the driver standings, and we have extended our lead now to 92 to the Rossini. That was a big swing, actually, I think, here. Because Steinman, yeah, they got second, but I think Lipponen has been really underperforming. So in the team standings, they're just not doing that well at all. And now officially we're through half the season and we're still in a really good spot. So I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to, you know, go, oh, we're going to make this challenge for sure this season. I mean, it's looking more and more likely with every race like this. We're not just holding on to the lead, we're extending it. So that is incredible. Home race winner. Nice. Yeah. The Italian Grand Prix won by our resident Italian as plus 25 morale. You earned it, AVO. Very good job. And a nice little cash bonus to boot. Obviously, we're not even really using this cash for anything anymore. Hey, if we win this challenge this season, that's 60 million. Whoa. Didn't even need it. All right. Yeah, we're still working on some parts. Basically, I think with the way that the season has been setting up so far, we might just keep building parts that are legal just so we can use them and yeah, not even bother with the illegal parts. I mean, the way we're going right now, we are really on track to finishing this season well. It worries me a little bit that this engine we dropped down to 4th, so the other teams are definitely trying to catch up part-wise. We do have some of our own ideas though in the pipeline. The gearbox is coming out soon. That should hopefully bring us up a little higher. I would love to also be a guaranteed 3rd in the gearbox department. Suspension, we can still do some work. Maybe even the high-speed corners here. But in the status quo, if we can just keep on doing what we're doing, it's working out for us. It's really working out for us. All right. Next time we'll be going to the Ardennes. Top speed again is going to be crucial. So is the front wing, which is a spec part, and the gearbox, which we are developing right now. Looks like there might be some rain during qualifying. That would be awesome, but the race might be dry. And it is a 27 lap race, so let's see what we can do. Hopefully maybe some one-stop shenanigans. I don't know. But yeah, 5 wins for the Italian now in total, and it is really showing in our standings. We are actually extending the lead, and it's looking more and more likely that we're going to finish this challenge. I really hope so, because it would be awesome timing just before F1 Motorsport or Formula 1 Manager comes out, so that would allow for more focus, let's say. Would be really cool. Let's see. I hope it works out, and at the very least I enjoyed this race and episode very much. I hope you did as well, and I hope to see you in the next one. See you then.